Good morning, everybody. Today is currently a beautiful morning on Thursday. It's the 31st of October. I'm recording this, so it is Halloween. So I may go out trick-or-treating later today. I was thinking about Charlie Chaplin, maybe get the mustache going, put on a German accent just for fun. But today's video is quite interesting, and it's very important because today's video is how to never be taken advantage again in the relationships that you get into. And these relationships can be romantic, you with a girl or another person, but they also work for any other person, people in your family, your friends, acquaintances. And these boundaries are what's going to lead you from being hurt going into relationships, getting with the wrong person, and you're only finding out months down the line, years down the line, or you're getting into a relationship with a person who completely has different values than you, or surprisingly cheats on you, or surprisingly breaks your heart or leaves you. And so I'm going to go over some things around 4 core fundamentals of how you're going to establish a healthy relationship early on, one that you're not going to be taken advantage of or get hurt in. So the first one that we're going to look at is we have to figure out what you want when it comes to a relationship. So when you are talking to another person and you are bonding one-on-one with another person, this is supposed to be intimate. There is going to be some intimacy to it, and there should be, at least. If you're not completely desensitized to all sexual activity, there's going to be somewhat of an emotion attached to having sex with another person, being in a relationship with another person that is romantic. And you want to figure out if this is something that you want and the other person wants. And so most people go into a relationship and they have fun together, and they're like, maybe we'll have fun together another time, and then another time, and it frequently becomes more often and more often. And then they're like, maybe we should be boyfriend and girlfriend. And then they're like, maybe we should be husband and wife. And that's usually the natural progression of a relationship. Now, if one person was going in for a relationship, say the girl was going in for a relationship, a woman, and she wanted a long-term relationship. She really wanted someone that she can spend the rest of her time with, who wasn't going to leave her, who didn't just want to sleep with her and leave. Now, there can also be a guy, and his acceptance for, or what he's looking for in relationships is now short-term. If he and this girl sleep together or start a relationship, it's not going to work out. Now, could this guy's mind change over time? Yes, it definitely could. But this is something that is a burden the woman's going to have to take on. And she's going to have to go through the stress, and vice versa. If it was a short term on the woman's side and a long term on the man's side, the man can say, yes, I want this person to switch for me. I think I can maybe make them switch. And you can still go ahead in that relationship, but you take on the burden, you take on the risk, and you take on the responsibility and consequences that comes with understanding this person wasn't here for the long term. You're only continuing this because you think you can switch them. Now, what I would recommend in something like this is for you to communicate to this person, hey, I want to be in a long-term relationship with you. If this is not something that you can give me, this is not something we can continue. And that's the way it should be, because if you allow this to keep going, what's going to happen is you're going to chase this person more. And I don't say chase as in, make them feel any way or make them feel creepy. It could come out of purely good intention. But what's going to happen is you're going to keep going after this long-term relationship that this person does not want. And so at the beginning, you have to understand, what do you want? Is this a relationship that you want to go in for a long-term or a short-term? And you don't have to communicate this immediately to the other person, to the girl you're talking to. Hi, I just met you. By the way, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. But it should come up naturally, and it should come up. But more than it should come up is you should understand what you want. You should be able to, you're going about your day and you're like, I'm open to a long-term relationship with the right person. I'm open to a short-term relationship with these type of people, right? And this is usually how most people go for. If you don't even understand what you want, and you go into a relationship thinking, oh, I only want a short term, and then it gets long term, that may throw you off a bit. If you go into a relationship saying, I only want a long term, and it gets cut short and it gets, on the short term, well, these are going to be different things that you may want to be aware of. The next thing is to set the expectations. So when you are meeting this other person, you want to set the expectations once you guys are bonded, a little bit more intimate than just meeting each other. And this can come up when you find it right. You can say this on the first date. Now, should you say it on the first date? Probably not, because you don't even know each other that well. You should say this, you should bring it up when you guys know each other. Because if you are getting to know each other, you want to know each other first and say, okay, I know this person kind of. Now I'm going to say it to you. Now I'm going to demonstrate that, hey, this is something for the long term I want. And you need to set those expectations early on. Early. Because if you set them later, that person's going to be like, what the fuck? How about like all the rest of the time? Well, how about that? Like, what about this? And so by you setting them early on and sticking to them, you're having a lot of respect for yourself, and you're committing to what you wanted, and you're not getting sidetracked or veered off the path by your emotions, by this other person. You're keeping yourself safe. And meet them on your end means you have to keep this up. If you have to keep up your end of the bargain of your boundaries of what you're saying. So say we have a woman, say we have a man, W and M, and say you as the guy are looking to this woman and you're saying, hey, I would like a long-term relationship. I would like this to go long-term. Natural progression is we get to know each other a bit, and then we start doing more intimate things, and then maybe we move in together, and then maybe we get married and live happily after. It's the slow progression upwards into more intimate and deeper connections. When you're looking for a long-term partner, there are some things that you want to keep in mind. The first thing that you want to keep in mind is that there's going to be a lot of traits, and you're going to have to be with this person more than just sex. So you're going to be around this person way more than just having sex. You're going to live with this person. And so there's a lot of traits that you may want to have in this person. Organization. If a person can't take care of themselves, and it may be to a degree, everything in life is on a scale. It's like they're not super organized, but maybe they can improve a little bit. It's like not the biggest thing. Or it's like they're just completely horrible at it. There's no way it could work. And so again, everything is on a degree, on a scale of how much these traits that you want. But things like you're organized, things about like your intelligence, your patience, learning capabilities, passion, knowledge, intimacy, able to communicate, things like this are a lot of stuff you want to get to know and see if that is there with that other person. And you see this by spending time with this person, right? You see these things by spending time with this other person that isn't just sex. Once you see a lot of this stuff and you're like, oh, this person actually is really good for me, there's not a whole bunch of sex involved, and you're spending a lot of time together, then I would say it is good to go into a long-term relationship. Then you both can try for it. And the last thing is to communicate these boundaries and standards. Now, the other person that you're talking to should be able to communicate their boundaries and their standards too. If they're not able to, something is wrong on their end. They're either having insecurities, lack of self-esteem, and you should try to help them bring that out. Like, what do you want out of this? Is there anything that would help you negotiate with them, make them feel comfortable? This should not be a one-sided affair. When you're in a relationship with, oh my god, there's something in my fucking eye. When you're in a relationship with another person, it's not a win-lose. It's not a value exchange. It's both of you bringing each other up. It's the same as business. When I'm selling a really good product, it's not that I'm winning and you're losing. It's you're giving me money, I'm winning. You're getting a very good service, you're winning. We're both winning. There's no lose, there's no win-lose. And so it's you help her, she helps you, both of you go up, both of you have a good time together, but you got to be the one to facilitate this, to lead that. So, and you want to be doing this over time. If you are going deeper into a relationship too, you're going to be spending more time together. The more time you spend together, you're going to go back and this may switch. It's like, yes, I want the long-term relationship, but I want a long-term relationship and I need you to be more giving and compassionate with your words. I need you to say that you love me more. I need you to show that you actually care for me. I need you not to be so angry and so these types of emotions and get so hostile and angry so quickly. And you need to set those expectations, and you should set them early. At the beginning, you should have found them out if they had those. But maybe a couple got snuck through the line and like, oh my god, this guy gets very irritated. Well, that is where you want to set those expectations still whenever you can, and then meet them on your end. You can't say to another person, oh my god, I fucking hate when you do this, and then you do it all the time. So you have to meet them on your end, and again, communicate those boundaries and standards of, this is something that is affecting me and I would like. This is something I would like you to do. How do you feel about that? Is this something that we can work on? You don't want to move at all. There's no movement on your end. Come on now. There's no negotiation you can work with me on. We're both two reasonable humans beings here, right? Try to negotiate this on me. Nothing you can do? Okay. Is that a trait that you wanted early on? Unnegotiable? Now you're non-negotiable. Now you're 5 years in the relationship. You're asking for this. The other person won't negotiate. So all those things are going to weed out the people who can't negotiate with you, who can't work on the boundaries, who can't live up to the expectations. If you can't live up to the expectations you set for other people, like that carries no respect. That's not going to have anything. No. Right? It's the same thing as a parent telling her child or his child, hey, do this, do that, yet they don't do it. Control your emotions, but they're losing it all the time. Do this, but they're clean your room, have this clean, but they're always messy. And it just, their words lose that respect, that truthfulness, the impact that they should have. All right, so that has been this video. I hope you guys helped. How to never be taken advantage again in your relationships, never be hurt. So if this did seem like a lot to you, you needed any more help, you can join my Discord for free or book a call with me for my one-on-one coaching program. And with that, boys, I hope you had learned something from this video, had a good time watching. And with that, I love you. Goodbye. Peace out. See you later.